This is fun.
Look at this. We are together. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my house. Michelle just came over today so we could do a little work. And so we decided to go live together. Together. I don't know if we've ever done this before.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, here we are. No makeup on. We didn't really think we were going live today. But we decided to do that anyway. Yeah. So, you guys, the reason we're going live is because I'm going to take my glasses off because I see a reflection here. Is because Tucker Carlson did this.
Yeah.
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah.
And everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him. I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, the question does present itself immediately. Like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
Yes.
But it didn't, there are tons of people of low character who like outperform their character. It doesn't have to be
sort of the norm, actually, these days. I
right.
would say.
I've outperformed my character a lot. I don't have especially high character, right? But you try your best. But what was this? Was this always the plan?
All right.
I can't.
All right. I know Tucker Carlson. I worked with Tucker Carlson at Fox News. I spent many an hour having very long and deep discussions with Tucker Carlson after on the road. I mean, we went to debates together. We went to conventions together. We spent a lot of time staying up sometimes till the wee hours, literally just chatting about stuff. And let me just say this. Tucker is a smart guy. He is. Tucker is much like Greg Gutfeld and other people at Fox, like that was Tucker's last stop because Tucker had been fired from every job he'd ever had. Remember, he got fired from CNN after the Jon Stewart debacle.
Oh, right. Crossfire.
On Crossfire. Right. Then he got fired from MSNBC, or maybe he quit, but it wasn't working out. Fox was it. And Roger Ailes did not like Tucker Carlson. But Rupert Murdoch did. And the reason Rupert Murdoch did, I suspect, is because, of course, Tucker comes from the same world as the Murdochs, right? Very privileged, very rich.
Stupid little bow tie.
The guy he was talking to was his brother, Buckley. I believe that the school that they went to was called Buckley, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe that they named, yeah.
It's terrible.
The point is, like, whatever. And so Tucker leaned into what I think Tucker always was. So like the racism is legit with Tucker. And I've told that story before. I don't need to belabor it. And I think what appealed to Tucker about Trump was the racism. But Tucker also, even pre-Trump, in the years that I knew Tucker, was always an isolationist. And that's important to note because he really genuinely hates foreign intervention. Tucker is an America First guy in the Charles Lindbergh model.
I was going to say he's like a modern day Charles Lindbergh in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So that part is legit. I think what this is about is that Tucker, and don't forget, Tucker always hated Trump. We know this because when Dominion sued Fox News for $1 billion and settled for almost, billions of dollars, but settled for nearly $1 billion, for after Fox basically defamed Dominion, and Tucker was very much part of that whole orbit. Emails came out as part of discovery effectively saying from Tucker, I hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump is full of shit, yada, yada, yada. And immediately Tucker rushed to Trump's side and I love you, Mr. President, and I didn't really mean it.
I hate him passionately.
Yes, I hate him
I
passionately.
hate him passionately.
Is what he privately wrote to people.
Yeah.
And knowing that it was full of that they were full of shit on Dominion. There were emails between him and others talking about how they have the power, not the executives of Fox, which is true. And why are the executives of Fox not listening to them? And they better backtrack immediately on the call against Trump in 2020 because that was affecting ratings. So understand that all Tucker cares about is ratings. And now that Trump has that Trump is a lame duck because people like Tucker are trying to take over the movement. Mm-hmm. Tucker is trying to set himself up as the next Trump, and he sees his numbers going down. I mean, the more Trump comes out against Tucker, the more Tucker's numbers go down. But I think with Tucker and Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and that Marjorie Taylor Greene is they're looking past Trump now, where they want to be the next MAGA. Mm-hmm. And I think that Tucker wants to run for president.
100,000%. 100%.
So I'm going to put my glasses back on because I need to read the chat. But go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, I think that you're absolutely right. And first of all, you shouldn't believe Tucker Carlson. I don't believe Tucker Carlson. I don't believe anything he's saying. I don't think he's sorry. I think he did what he had to do in the moment, despite hating someone passionately. I think, Donald Trump served a purpose for Tucker Carlson in the way that Donald Trump served a purpose for a lot of people. The billionaires, the Heritage Foundation, Peter Thiel, he's been the useful idiot for the entire movement. But the movement 2.0 is America First. And that is Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's Tucker Carlson, it's Nick Fuentes, it's all of them. And it's more extreme, but they're trying to paint themselves as somehow less extreme because they're not as stupid, or selfish. I don't know. I mean, Donald Trump is his own brand, but the fact that he's out there trying to sell this in order to make himself more palatable in his little plaid shirt in his log cabin in rural Maine, wherever he is. Tucker Carlson is also a Russian stooge, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the other part of this.
Yeah. I mean, Tucker Carlson is a Russian stooge. Don't forget when Tucker Carlson sat with Vladimir Putin for hours and let Putin. And then worse than that, went on this Potemkin village tour of Moscow where he was like, look at this. Look at how great this is. There's no crime. It's all beautiful.
Look at this grocery store.
Look at this grocery store. Yeah. I mean, okay, buddy. It would be like taking a tour of New York City, but seeing Fifth Avenue,
right?
In
taking someone to Gramercy Park.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Oh my God, look, So I say all of this to basically say that Tucker is full of shit, and we shouldn't believe anything he says. But what I think is relevant about this is not so much Tucker himself, but the fact that they are literally. This is the obituary for Trump. They are looking past the Trump era. They're looking past what he wants. They're looking past anything. They're going to deify him once he dies so they could be like, this is what Trump would have wanted.
Well, that's my next question for you, Julie, because you've been talking about that. You've been talking about the fact that they're going to make him into this deity, make statues of him so that everyone can pray to our Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump. But if they're trying to distance themselves from him now, how is that going to be possible?
Because they're going to forget about the bad parts. As soon as he's dead, they're going to be like, this is what Trump would have wanted. And I use this example all the time, and I think I've told the story before. When Vladimir Lenin died and Stalin took over, Lenin's widow, who really kind of was a revolutionary in her own right and did stuff with him jointly, was complaining about what Stalin did and was doing. And Stalin went to her, maybe one of Stalin's henchmen went to her, but I think it might have been Stalin personally. And he said to her, if you don't cut this out, we could always find another widow for Lenin. Translation, we can change the whole narrative of what his life was to say that you're not his widow, Michelle Kinney was his widow. Because the propaganda was so strong.
Right.
And I think the same thing's going to happen here, right? They're going to try to change what Trump wanted. they're going to start to say what Trump really wanted was America first. And he got talked into it by whoever the enemy is going to be, Marco Rubio, Jared. Like I think
Jews,
the Jews,
I mean,
because
that's
it's going to be Kushner. It's going to be,
Yeah.
what do these people have in common? It's going to be
Netanyahu.
It's going to be Bibi. It's going to be Kushner. It's going to be Wickoff. What do these three people have in common?
Mhm.
They're all Jewish, right? It was the Jews.
Mhm.
Never mind that, you've got Lindsey Graham and Rubio
Yeah.
and all these other people who are agitating. It doesn't matter.
Which is what I'm really afraid of, is where the
Yeah.
far right, like this Tucker Carlson, America First movement, is going to meet the far left. That's what I'm really afraid of, is the anti-Israel sentiment that is anti-Bibi, which we all should be anti-Bibi because Bibi's
The
a
worst.
monster.
Yeah.
But, this is where the anti-Semitism is going to, unfortunately, become, I think, a bigger problem. And it's going to be more, on the other side of the horseshoe.
Yep. And so there's going to be a massive split. And I think what you're seeing right now is the lining up of the influencers, but Tucker's more than an influencer, right? Like Tucker actually can make or break, or he used to be able to make or break candidacies. Legislators, congressmen, and senators used to be terrified of Tucker when he was on Fox. They would call him to ask him what he wanted because they did not want him to use his bully pulpit at 8 p.m. to go after them. In some ways, he's equally popular now. The good news for the people who hate Tucker is Trump is going negative on him, so that his approval ratings among Republicans is dropping. And he's doubling down because I think sucking up to Trump, he understands, will only take you so far. So they're looking past Trump. And what they're looking for right now is they're looking to see what's going to happen after Trump is gone, and the soul of the party and the fight for the soul of the party. And again, because Trump has been all things to all people, right? You're an America firster, Trump was your guy. You're an interventionist, Trump's your guy. You like free trade, Trump's your guy. You hate free trade, Trump's your guy. Like, because he's not consistent, so that he can be, it's, the same way you have people in all religions divining what God wants because the Bible has 20,000 different messages, considering, there's a little something for everybody. Trump is the same way. And they're going to forget about this part where Tucker's going to be like, I was lied to. And he's going to forget about that. And he's going to talk about Trump pre-Iran war. Or pre-Epstein.
This is where the receipts, though, I mean, at least when it comes into what I do in making videos that show receipts. So in the same way that I think that people try to not speak ill of the dead when Charlie Kirk was murdered, and everybody was canceled for saying anything bad or truthful about him. This is where I think that we all have to remember what it is these people said when they said it, the things that Donald Trump did, and not let people forget. Now, if people want to forget or they're just willfully ignorant, that's their problem, I guess. I guess eventually all of our problems. But I made a 7-minute video about Charlie Kirk being a racist and a bigot and a misogynist. That was originally an hour long. So imagine how long these videos would be. I don't know how effective they'll be at when it happens. But the other thing too, and this is where I think JD Vance, and Marco Rubio think that they're going to be the heir apparents to the MAGA movement, and they're sadly mistaken. Donald Trump eats his young. And that is what he is doing right now to JD Vance and Marco Rubio, because because Donald Trump, I think, and Anthony Scaramucci talked about this on his podcast the other day, that Donald Trump wants to be the last Republican president. He doesn't want anyone else to be a Republican president after him. I mean, I'd argue he wants to be the last president, period. But he's such a narcissist that he doesn't want anyone to take over the movement. So there's part of me that also thinks like, what can I do to destroy all these people on my way to my 6 feet under, final resting place? I don't know.
I think you're right to some extent. I also think he can't figure out who he wants the next person to be, because then that person becomes the heir apparent and the energy moves to that person, right? Like in lame duck, what he can't tolerate is people talking about, as soon as these midterms are over, the fight for the next nomination begins on both sides of the aisle.
Listen, I don't think anybody, and I hate to say this, I don't think anybody should count out Ivanka at this point
I
either.
don't think anybody should count out Junior. I mean, I think there's so many different people.
Ivanka's like on a very, very, very curated PR mission right now, doing podcasts and talking about her mom and crying on camera and doing all kinds of things. I'm convinced. I think she's the only one that Donald Trump would not be embarrassed of.
Maybe, but she's married to Jared Kushner, who's a corrupt,
True.
whatever.
True.
But that's the problem. I mean, the problem is that, and he's hanging out with Netanyahu. I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why,
true, true.
But look, at the end of the day, an expression that I hate using because it sounds like filler, what's going to end up happening is that all of these people are going to exploit Trump and his memory for their own personal gain, much like you have zealots exploiting Jesus Christ
And L. Ron Hubbard.
or L. Ron Hubbard. Not that I'm comparing those two; don't come at me. Or God, in the whatever other religion sense you have, right? Like this is what Muhammad would have wanted. This is what Allah wants. This is what the God of the Old Testament wants. This is what Jesus wants. This is what L. Ron Hubbard wants. Like all of this is. And now it's going to be, this is what Trump wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not doable. I mean, it's not doable for them. Maybe it is doable. I didn't think Trump was doable. So what the hell? Maybe it is doable. But it's so cynical. And this whole like, oh, let me rend my clothes and let me just be so upset because this is what's happening. Right. Okay.
I just again, like these people. There is a video, and we should watch it at some point. There's a video that Tucker Carlson did on his own channel, and he's in the woods in Maine where his little cabin is, and he has this guy on, and he's talking about being attacked by demons and how the demon attacked him in his sleep, and then he woke up and he had scratches all over his body. And I'm just like,
okay,
these people are so serious.
He doesn't believe it. That's the part. That's the part that sucks.
Full of shit.
He's
all
full
of them.
Shit. Like all of them are full of shit. That's the part that I think is so upsetting about this whole situation. Is that I guess if you really believe that a demon attacked you in your sleep, I'd have more respect.
Then I'd be like, you need to see therapists for a different reason.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that Tucker Carlson is, and again, he's another privileged white guy who's super racist and has mommy issues. And for all of those reasons, the rest of us have to suffer.
He is super racist. I can vouch for that.
And not just against Black people. It's or Muslims. It's against Catholics. It's against Irish, Italians.
He told
everybody.
me point blank that this country did not have a crime problem until the Catholics showed up. And I quote, the Irish with their whiskey and the Poles with their vodka and the Italians with their mafia. And I was like, you sound like a member of the Ku Klux Klan circa 1922.
Right, because that's how, the Klan, at least during that time period, was recruiting in the North because of the anti-Catholic
movement.
Yeah.
So lest we think that Tucker somehow is an equal opportunity. He is an equal opportunity racist. That part is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important to note.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's also important to note that he is not a dumb man. So he does not believe that demons are attacking him. He's not doing this mea culpa with his brother Buckley. And the next one's going to be with his son.
I can't believe that someone named their kids Buckley and Tucker Carlson.
I think Tucker also has a son named Buckley, if I'm not mistaken, who worked for the RNC.
Well, who also he wrote Joe Biden for a recommendation for his son.
Yes.
That is, and Tucker Carlson.
No, he asked Hunter for a recommendation for his son. It was Hunter Biden.
It was Hunter?
It was Hunter. Because they live next door to each other in DC.
And also, Tucker Carlson was rejected from the CIA. He wanted to work for the CIA. He was told no. Again, a chip on his shoulder. And there is this sort of, I don't know, he's like, you're all going to pay for telling me no. And,
fundamentally, I think he's leaning into his own power because he is deeply influential, maybe not with the Republican Party right now, but he is deeply influential with his online base right now.
Yeah.
The America Firsters, the racists, the whoever's. And I repeat myself because a lot of those people overlap with the Republican Party and his numbers are I think he's breaking even among Republicans, if not even slightly underwater, whereas he used to be like in the 80s with Republicans or something, or the 90s. But nevertheless, I think it's important to note that Tucker is 100% exploiting this rift in order to, and it's a gamble. Listen, it is a roll of the dice, because the reality is it is self-destructive, much like Tucker is self-destructed in every job he's ever had. So it may be that he's self-destructing here, but I don't know.
I'm like, why would anyone like him want to be president? That's the thing that I'm just kind of like,
With Tucker?
yeah.
Because you have all the power in the
I
world.
mean, yes, obviously, but it's a lot of work, and you have a cush little life, and
He wants to be president first and foremost, and the same reason that Trump wants to be president. He wants to stick it to everybody who's ever stuck it to him.
Yeah.
He wants to stick it to CNN. He wants to stick it to
to
Fox.
the libs.
Well, he wants to stick it to Fox. He wants to stick it to everybody who's ever wronged him. In
all
his
the
life.
women, all the women that got him kicked out of Fox, all the, you know.
Well, he didn't get kicked out of Fox because of the women, Tucker. He got kicked out of Fox because he became a liability over the Trump stuff.
Oh,
But
well,
yeah,
that too.
yeah.
But I remember all the emails people came forward, and
About Tucker?
yeah, there was like a bunch of emails about how he was saying inappropriate things to women.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
remember
with
his,
his
like,
producer.
producer?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
his producer. Yeah, who works
Yeah.
for him now again, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm reading the comments here.
Yeah.
on the
So
Substack.
look, I think the reality is, it's just, I don't even know why I tried to come on here and talk about how full of shit this is, and we don't have to belabor this.
Well, yeah, I
But-
mean, like, we don't believe him, and we don't think you should either.
Yeah, and so for anybody, by the way, because I've seen this comment online from some people who are like, now that Tucker's on our side, we should welcome him.
No,
He's not our side.
no,
Friends,
no.
he is a racist. Let's start with that.
Yep.
And not just racist against Black people or Jewish people
Or Irish people.
or Irish people. He's racist against everybody who did not come here on the Mayflower.
Mhm.
Like, let's start with that.
Mhm.
I just want to be very clear about that.
Yep.
So if you are not a waspy person whose family was here before 1880 or so, and you're a Protestant, he's not interested in you.
Mhm.
And even if you are not educated like Tucker, he's not interested in you. I know he tries to appeal to that demographic, but I'm telling you right now, I've spent a lot of time with Tucker Carlson. You cannot get more elitist than Tucker. From a racial standpoint, from a social standpoint, from a looking down at everybody else standpoint, he considers himself an intellectual, and to some extent, he's not the intellectual he thinks he is, but he's not a dumb man. He's well read. He took all the wrong lessons out of what he's read, but nevertheless, he is well read.
Yeah.
So I just, I want to just talk about that. I just want to make people understand that that's what that's about.
Mhm.
And anybody who wants to welcome him into the anti-Trump coalition, like, I am
No.
all for welcoming people into the anti-Trump coalition. But friends, if you are burnt by Michael Cohen, believe you me, Michael Cohen is a saint compared to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And I never bought the Michael Cohen bullshit. So trust me when I tell you, I know these people,
Mhm.
and that's Tucker. So on that note, Michelle, we don't need to belabor it. Why don't you just come in and say hi to everybody? And
I do want to say one
Yes.
more thing, because Alex Jones obviously is like even further into the garbage pail than Tucker Carlson is, but he's another one who's been part of the coalition of like, oh, we were wrong, and the whole thing. Same with like the comedians who are like, oh, we wanted to make fun of trans people, we didn't know this was going to happen. But Alex Jones, same thing. And while I will say also, after 17 months of back and forth, The Onion finally acquired Infowars.com, and isn't that great?
all right. On that note, Michelle, so good to see you on my couch.
Julie.
Hi, everybody. Okay, we will see you guys all later. Bye. Bye.